Congratulations.
Congratulations, you've survived the assessment. The roadmap to the rest of your life. So today I want to talk a little bit about what it looks like following the assessment process and what training is really based upon, and the roadmap that we really try to lay out here at S2 Breakthrough to help athletes really understand where they currently are in their process, where they're headed, meaning what goals they had, and to understand how their training on a day-to-day basis really fits with that story. So let's talk about once we finish the assessment process and we have all of the pieces out of the puzzle out on the table, we understand, okay, this is the way the trunk is moving in the motion, here's what's happening as a result with the levers, here's what's going on with ball flight data. We're able to really put that story together. And so now from there, every athlete has a unique story, which is really important. Let me give some examples. There are times where we might have an athlete whose ball flight data is really, really strong, meaning they have a lot of variability on the ball in spin and break, but they have a lot of sort of trunk breakdowns that are either capping where they are velocity-wise, causing some sort of pain, various parts of the body. And so the first part of their roadmap is, okay, let's recognize what you're already doing well. And in training, we want to have training approaches that are preserving what makes you great, while kind of separating out the parts of the motion that we really need to attack and improve. And so understanding, okay, from a roadmap standpoint, we are talking about knowing where you start and how to inch by inch get closer to where you want to go. When I think about general roadmaps, I think about, okay, we have pitchers early on, we're talking about the concept, the foundation has to be trunk stability. They have to be able to understand, to be stable enough in the body during the motion that they can have a sense of feel for where their arm is in space. Trunk stability then leads into arm variability, just the ability to sort of like segment the arm. And what we often see in the assessment process is that some pitchers, when they're lacking what they need from the trunk, whether it's the ability to decelerate well, the ability to create tension or stiffness, the levers, the arms, legs, neck position takes on that role. And so that minimizes or eliminates the arm's ability to create segmentation and whip action and to create variability on the ball. And so as we're thinking about ultimately what we're trying to build into as a pitcher, that is what we're trying to attack. Okay, we want the trunk to do enough of its job that the arm then can really maximize its art form and stop doing the job of the trunk. From there then, we're talking about creating a sense of variability on the ball, different spin directions, forget the names of pitches and pitch labels, but being able to be able to throw pitches that have variability in the way they spin. And then the next tier would be commanding, being able to really control and put a sense of command over creating one spin direction versus another. The top tier of that would be something like then maximizing those metrics. So I can command it, but it's not quite enough that where I want to see it and where I want to see it grow. And so understanding this sort of hierarchy helps us understand where pitchers are in that roadmap. And so we are talking about, let's get your individual story from the assessment. Lay out where you are from a pain standpoint, velocity standpoint, break, and understand those hierarchies. And oftentimes we'll find someone is very high on that hierarchy from a break standpoint, and as I referenced earlier, not so much from a velocity standpoint or from a pain standpoint. And so they're attacking sort of low-level trunk type of things, training approaches in their program to really be able to see change and to get their motion to evolve. And so when I'm just thinking about being able to lay that story out, it's important to know that when you're in a program, when you're in a training program, you want to know what part of this is really attacking my current pain point, my current point of like, I need to improve this in order to move into this. Are there pieces in that training program that are attacking the preservation of what you already do well? And those things it's important to be able to lay that out. When a pitcher really is able to understand those pieces of their training program, okay, I'm doing low intensity at this part of the workout for this reason. When I move into using weighted plyos, it's for this. When I transition into weighted softballs, it's for this. When they can really understand how each of those pieces in training links to their story and their roadmap where they currently are, now we're talking about ownership over their training platform and over their training journey. I think what's also really important is it gives them really this sense of power over understanding, well, my goal is to throw 65. Well, my goal is to throw a great rise ball. And for them to see, we don't just show up on any given day working on those goals. We have to understand each of those connecting dots in that roadmap so that we might be 3 tiers away from being able to do that, but today's training program, the current, the drills and the concepts that you're working on today, it's still in line with those goals. You just understand that it's more of a roadmap and less of just a black and white, here's my goal, here's what I show up and work on. So I think that's a piece for us that is really unique, this concept of programming, of making sure that we're able to communicate that program back to that athlete, her story, her goals, and keep following that process and that journey with her. Oftentimes, athletes, things change. So maybe we're on one roadmap, and over the course of a season, something happens with that athlete, excessive fatigue, maybe it's injury, and the roadmap needs to shift. So of course there's flexibility, but the power in being able to measure what's happening all along the way allows us to keep shifting that roadmap, keep communicating what those shifts are, and so that we can continue to keep our athletes buy-in and full understanding and knowledge of their own program.